something hit my heart pretty heavy today. And this deals with what a lot of people are doing when they're going to when they start looking at law of attraction, law of assumption, law of being, law of whatever videos. They typically want, like, the main two things they want are love. They want love, or they want money. That's what their desires are. They want a specific person to love them, or they want money because they don't have it. Maybe you disagree? That's fine. This is what I see from the past few years of swimming in this space. And I feel what's happening here is we're overlooking the most important thing before any of that is going to happen. And that is, do you love yourself? I mean, that's the question. Do you love who you are? Because I'll tell you, if you don't love who you are, if you don't have affection and appreciation for who you are, the fact that you have an imagination, the fact that you can think, the fact that you could feel, the fact that you have a body, you have a mind, you have thoughts, you have this, you have that. If you can't love and appreciate all that is you, how are you going to get love from another? How are you going to get money from another? And what's money? Money is value. Or we take money and we exchange it for value. It's not the money itself, it's the things that money can give us, which is value. And I'm going to tie that back in to you. So, do you love and do you value yourself? Ask yourself that. If you don't love and value who you are, how are you going to get value and love externally? Think about it. If you don't have a strong self-concept and appreciation for who you are, how in the hell do you expect to attract love and to attract value? Doesn't make sense, does it? Think about it. People want to get yourself. When you give money, you have hard-earned money, whatever, and you pay for something. What are you paying for? You're paying for value. If you didn't find that thing valuable, you wouldn't spend your money on it. So if you don't find yourself valuable, why would anyone give you money? If you don't love yourself, you don't value yourself, you're going to see that in the world. It's going to reflect that back to you, because that's what's going on. Your self-concept, your dominant thinking, or the thoughts that you entertain the most are going to develop your reality. You're going to see it everywhere. And if you don't value yourself, you are not going to attract money, which is value. No one's going to exchange it. You have to start with yourself first. I feel like this is skipped over. We jump right to trying to get love, right to trying to get money. Love yourself first. And what does that mean? It means your thoughts need to align with love towards yourself. You know, what's funny is, I had the assumption for most of my life that love just happens, and belief just happens. That was my assumption. So you know what? I was proven correct, because I assumed that. And then one day I was like, what if I just told myself over and over and over that I love myself? I love who I am. Lo and behold, I started seeing endearing qualities. within myself. I started to appreciate myself more. I literally, in the beginning, it felt fraudulent. I was pretending. And children, keep this in mind, children have no problem pretending. I mean, that's most of their life is pretending. What does that tell you? Anything is possible when you're a child. You can pretend. I mean, maybe you remember this. I remember this. When I was a kid, man, like I'd pretend, and dude, I was a cowboy. It wasn't that I was pretending to be a cowboy. To me, I was a cowboy or whatever, an astronaut, whatever the thing is, right? And then what happens is you run into people who, adults or older kids, who are in pain and they're hurting. And what do? They shit all over you. And some of that stuff sticks to you. The limiting beliefs stick to you, and you hold on to them, and they become your story forever. Make a decision. Make a decision to change that. You spend all day focused on how you don't love yourself because you lack this and you lack that. The first step is knowing that you are everything, you are love, and you are lovable. First thing I did, man, I get in my car going to work or whatever the thing was, whatever the occasion. And I would take a deep breath in. And when I would exhale, I'd say, I love myself. I would say it in an endearing way, and it felt phony and pretend. But you always have to start by pretending. Over time, it made more sense. It felt more authentic. And then lo and behold, guess what? The cynical bastard who I was, who was always shitting on everybody, who was downing people, and, humor was always a big thing in my house growing up, but a lot of the humor was self-deprecating humor or sarcasm, right? Or little snide remarks. And guess what? They were funny. They would get laughs. But what did they do to the person I was making fun of? And more importantly, the bigger question is, what did that do to me? And it built up a life, like my adult life was doubt and fear of what other people were going to think. Why was I so concerned about what other people were going to think? Well, maybe because if someone shared something about them that was intimate, I would shit on them for it. So what was my awareness? Where was my spotlight? It was on people potentially shitting on me the way I shit on them. No more. No more. Make a decision. Have you made your decision for Christ? Have you made your decision on who you are? And it starts with love. Love thyself. If you love yourself, then you could love another as yourself. If you don't love yourself, how could you love someone else? That goes too. But if you're trying to attract love, you're trying to attract money or whatever it is, it has to be found within you first, always. That is always the cause. It always has been the cause, and it always will be the cause. Love yourself. Make a decision today to love yourself. You might have a thought in your mind, well, you're not supposed to be full of yourself. Well, you're supposed to be humble, You're supposed to be humble. Screw that. Screw it, man. Like, you have to love yourself first. I'm telling you. You are the creator. You have an imagination that has no limits except those you impose on it. Live into that. Once you start loving yourself, you'll go out in the world with confidence. You're going to go out in the world not needing love from another. And it's the not needing it that brings it to you. It's the not needing the money that brings it to you. Love yourself. Value yourself inside, in your heart, in your imagination. And watch what happens in your life. Feed your self-love. Feed your self-value. And just watch. I'm rooting for you. I'm going to assume you've done this. You are valuable. You are valuable. And don't let anyone convince you that you're not. You are worthy of love. And don't let anybody convince you that you're not. And if they did, I don't care if you were 5 years old, 12 years old, I don't care what your story is when you were younger. Screw it. Drop it. Move on. Love thyself. Value thyself. And watch the world reflect it back to you.